Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be making how to make mini sausage rolls. Now I made puff pastry, so check out my video, the link's just above, and I'm going to be using some of the pastry for this recipe. You can buy pre-made pastry, that's absolutely fine. All you need for this is a pack of 8 sausages, so roughly 400 grams. Then you need 1 egg to glaze it with. I'm going to be using some mustard to add a seasoning. You need a little bit of flour to sprinkle on the work surface. Make sure you preheat your oven to 200 degrees fan. I've got all the conversions if you need in the description, so make sure that you have a look. They're going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now once you've made these, before you cook them, if you're not going to eat them all, then you can freeze them for about a month and then you can defrost them. Or what I'd recommend is that you cook them from frozen then, but you add 10 minutes to the cooking time. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to open up your sausages and you want to put all of the sausage meat into the bowl. So this bit can be quite messy. So what I would recommend, if you can just get sausage meat, that would be a lot better. But if not, just get sausages, that's fine. And you've just got to remove all of the meat from the skin of the sausage into the bowl. That being done, you want to just whisk up your 1 egg ready to glaze on the top. If you don't add a glaze, they won't be nice and golden brown, so this just really enhances the appearance. With the sausage meat, I've just added a sprinkle of salt and some white pepper. And now what you want to do is you just want to just mix this into like a paste, just using a spoon. Just makes it easier to put onto the pastry. Now you can add some crushed garlic to your sausages, or you could add some bits of onion. It's really up to you, because I'm just going to be adding some English mustard to the top of the pastry because it just gives such a good flavour. So put that to one side. Then what you want to do is just sprinkle some flour onto your work surface. Not loads so it will dry the pastry out, but just enough so it prevents it from sticking. And you want to put just a little bit of flour on the rolling pin also. So you just roll it a few times, then I always turn it 90 degrees. Just brush the bottom to make sure that it's not sticking, because that would just be disastrous. So keep rolling out. You want to roll it into an oblong shape as best you can. So you want to roll it out to roughly the thickness of a £1 coin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the edges so they're nice and straight. So I've got my oblong shape. Now what I'm going to do again is just give it another little roll. And then I'm going to cut this oblong in half. Now to add the seasoning, a lot of people go, oh, you add mustard to your sausage rolls. Now my dad always added mustard to the sausage rolls and they were just the best, and I can't make them without it anymore. So with the English mustard, you're just going to put a thin layer at the top of each strip. What I always say to people is just try it with the mustard, or try one of mine first. They're like, actually that's all right. So I would recommend that you do put mustard on. If not, other ingredients that you could add is applesauce or Branston pickle, or you could just keep them plain if you wanted to, or just do a mixture. So maybe you could just do 1 strip with the mustard ones just to test it out. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to get your sausage meat and you're going to roll it as best you can into an oblong shape, and you're going to put it into the middle of your sausage rolls. So not on the mustard, you're going to put it into the middle. Now you don't want a really thick layer of the sausage meat. You want it just perfect so the pastry will wrap around it. You don't want to add too much so it bursts. And if you put too less, then it's just not going to taste very nice. So the next thing is just put all of this sausage meat into the middle of both the strips of pastry. Then what you do is you need to grab the pastry that hasn't got the mustard on it. So you just want to push that over and you want to roll it over the sausage meat. Trying to tuck it in so it's nice and neat. Now if there is too much sausage meat at this point, so if you see here I've just added a little bit too much into the middle, just unroll it as best you can and take that bit out, because they will burst. Don't be afraid to take some out, it's absolutely fine. Like I said, you don't want to add too much and then they burst in the oven and then they won't look good at all. Now that they are rolled, the next thing to do is to add your egg glaze. So grab a pastry brush and you want to put a good layer of the egg wash all over the pastry. If you're not using mustard or applesauce or Branston, then what I'd recommend is at the top of the pastry, before you roll it, to add some of the egg wash to make it stick, but the mustard will help these stick. So the next thing you want to do is to portion them up. Now it's up to you if you want to make big ones or small ones. I just love little small ones because you can just snack on them. So I'm just going to mark them off before I cut them up, just to make sure that they're pretty much the same size. You can use a ruler for this if you want to be really, really pedantic. And I always just cut the end off there. So now you've marked it, you want to actually fully cut it. So each of them are portioned nicely. Then I'm just going to slash them twice, not going through the pastry, but I just think it adds to the appearance. So on each of the little ones, I'm just going to put 2 little lines like that, and I just think they come out and they look really good. You need to place these onto a non-stick baking tray. If it is, then make sure that you do line it with baking parchment. And you're going to cook these for 25 to 35 minutes. Now, it's really important that your oven is nice and hot and preheated. The melting fat content and the heat help set the layers, and this is what gives the pastry its characteristic crisp texture. Sausage rolls on the baking tray, and now I'm going to bake them in the oven, like I said, for 25 to 35 minutes. So I will see you when they're done. Once the sausage rolls come out of the oven, leave them on a cooling rack just to cool down so they're not so hot and they crisp up still at the bottom. You'll know that they're done when the pastry is golden brown and it's crispy and there's not any soggy bits or any soggy bottoms. So these are the result. I just love the mini ones. I can just snack on them. They will last for up to 3 days in an airtight container. Now, one tip, make sure that when you put them on a baking tray that it's got raised edges, just because the fat will run out of the sausage rolls and it will drip into your oven if you don't have high raises. So here they are, some beautiful sausage rolls with some mustard, the crunchy pastry, the gorgeous filling, and the mustard just adds so much flavour. They are absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure how long these are going to actually last in this house. Make sure you catch me Sunday for another recipe using puff pastry. I will see you again.